Hey guys, this is Glen from G&P Custom Fabrications. The intro that you're watching now I actually filmed after the footage you're getting ready to watch. I just didn't feel like the original intro was any good, so here I am. What you're getting ready to watch is me making the shifter for Rat Duallie, or I should say finish up the shifter. I had started on it a couple days ago and I was pretty happy with it, but I didn't film any of it. It's just kind of hard for me to be creative and worry about cameras and all that stuff at the same time, and these are step by step. I don't know what the next piece is going to be until I get this piece done, and that's the way this whole process went. So what you're getting ready to watch is kind of a part 2, but there isn't a part 1, but I hope you enjoy it anyway. Now let's get to the video. So this is what we got. This is the shifter on the 460 for Rat Duallie. I got this off wish.com. No, I'm kidding. I didn't. I actually built that all. This flat stock, I don't know what size it is. Let's say 1 inch by 3/16. Yeah. 1 inch by 3/16. And I don't know, I got a bunch of it in the stack over there. I don't remember where I got it from, but anyway, I started off building the platform here, these 2 pieces here. I drilled and tapped holes into these built up pieces on the transmission. I don't know, they're from the production process. I'm sure they clamp onto something or whatever. They're not functional for anything, so it was just a big thick part of aluminum that I felt safe drilling and tapping into. I mounted the 2 flat pieces here to start with first, put some longer bolts back here, and then I went down to this part, down to the actual lever part, because I knew I was going to have to figure out, I knew how much travel this had, and that seemed like a lot more travel than I wanted my shifter to have, because I didn't want, my knuckles on the dash and then my knuckle, all the way against the seat. So I knew somehow I needed to adjust the ratio of travel, which sounds a lot more complicated than what I lucked into doing. So first thing I figured out was I was going to need a lever action to correspond with this. So I measured from this hole to the pivot point here and made this piece of linkage that length, and then I had more holes to it. Had 2 more on the end and 1 more on this end, so I could adjust it back and forth to get it where I wanted it. Once I got that figured out, I mounted this piece, and I had it longer at first, trying to figure out how much travel I needed, and bent it up and got it figured out. The travel needed from, actually this almost acts like a stop right here, but from this bracket to forward, make sure that I could cover the full range in that area or in that distance, and I was able to. So from there I moved up to the shifter, and actually this part here, which is going to be cut off here because I don't need that extra part on there. That was while I was still troubleshooting, trying to figure out my lengths. So I mounted that on there, and I made this arm to tie those 2 together so I could push and pull on it and see that I was getting my full range. Then from there came in the actual shifter. The shifter handle and the rod from it here was from the 4-speed transmission that was in Rat Duallie before. If you the older videos, not the making a Rat Duallie video, because in that one my shifter looked different because I didn't have this skull thing welded on there yet. I just had a poor attempt at a skull face, but this one here I really like. It's a bottle opener. But so this was the shifter for the 4-speed Granulo 4-speed that was in Rat Duallie to start with. And I knew I wanted to use it. I wanted to keep it with the truck. So then I knew I needed to make a good pivot for it. Well, in an auction, I got a bunch of these sprockets. So I found 2 sprockets that had the same size shaft to it. And so I was able to weld one to for the actual mount, and then the other one I welded onto the shaft. Kind of see here, got it welded on. Tried to wrap it around there so I could get a lot more weld to it. And then this piece here, I don't remember where I got that from. It was for like a trailer. I don't remember, a trailer supply or something. I've used them on a couple other things. They just a good handy shape, real convenient. But where I cut notches on the inside, and I swear to God, the level of luck that plays into this whole thing, as far as the travel, getting the travel as close as I did, without you know, I don't have a trigonometry background, calculus or whatever evil math was necessary to make this all work. But regardless, you know, if I push it all the way forward right now, I got mosquitoes bad tonight in the shop. But anyway, first, second, drive, neutral, reverse, park. There we go. That's all right. That is it. And but yeah, as far as positioning, I know inside the truck, I was going to have to redo the center console, but so anywhere in here I can recut that hole and put that where I want it. I know it's not going to be way up there where it was at, so, and I think it's short enough. If it happens to be close to this, it won't be a problem, but I really think it's going to end up about here. I don't know that for sure, but I got a good idea based off of the shape of the bell housing. And it might be up a little bit further than that now that I look at it. You can kind of see the distance from the bell housing to the shifter. But anyway, if I have to move it, I'll move it, or I might may have to move or cut this off and put more to it like that, maybe to extend it back. I hope I don't have to, but if I do, I do. I mean, that would be not a major issue. That won't kill me. But anyway, what I was thinking on tonight, I need to make a detent system, or a gate system, I guess you'd call it. It's where I have to pull the lever to click it into gear. So that's what I'm planning on working on tonight, and we'll see how it goes. There's a little bit of play still in some of it. I would like to, like this piece and this piece and this piece, I'd like to replace all those with helms joints. I think probably something like would be on a go-kart would be heavy enough, would be the for what I want. It'd just be a matter of finding them and ordering them and putting them on. But another issue that I may have that I can't really tell until I get more into it is, I know I need to cut this side here off just because I don't need it, but I don't know underneath the truck, underneath the tunnel, if that's going to be a problem right there or not. I'm hoping it's not. Worst case, I could probably drop down and move this linkage down, put a little zigzag on this where it's down, and then level off, and it would actually put it on the same plane as that. And but I'm hoping I don't have to do that, but I won't know till I get closer to it. But anyway, so right now I'm going to sit here and brainstorm and try to figure out what I need to do to make I'm thinking something that I'd pull up, you know what, back here, a handle or something I could pull that would unlock the shifter, so I could pull it, you know, click, 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 and just be able to pull it back and put it in gear. So anyway, that's what I'm working on, and I'll try to keep you posted. Right there. Park. And see, those are so close together. It's gonna make it hard to work with. I mean, that's just right. There, we're just talking fractions of an inch difference on that wheel. Yeah, I'm gonna need it. I really like the amount of travel I got. I think that's a good thing. Look at this here. Look at, there's first, second, drive, neutral, reverse, park. Now knowing that, those are a manageable distance. I could be able to do something with that. I need some way to turn the action from here. I was thinking like maybe a cable setup. I pull on it, it pulls the cable, comes around, and somehow pulls a pin up. So what do we start off with? Let's see. Drilling a hole right in the middle, right there. If I got any air. Now, I was thinking on that last hole, I really didn't need anything for the last position because you'll have it in low, it's not going to go any lower. You can hit it up one and go into the next gear. Going up. That gives me a good start. And I know right there's my part. I'll probably end up going a little bit bigger on my holes. May have to chamfer those to get the plunger, whatever I got going in there, I don't know yet. Let the start. My original idea was I was going to drill holes in the side of this with a spring and a ball that would fall into different holes, but as I saw when I marked it, they would have been so close together, it wouldn't have done any good. Sorry, I shouldn't have tried talking over that air compressor. Shoot this again. You can see here the holes I end up with. And I think they're spaced good enough that I can actually work with them. Maybe try to figure out, chamfer them a little bit. And now I need to come up with a mechanism to go up and down that would go down into the holes. So we will see. And while I scratch my head, I will stop the camera. And if I get an idea, I will start talking again. These little connectors, I don't know what they're called. They're the big fat nut things. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and drill those out. Drill that one out I have, and see if we can't make that sliding option. But that's all I got right now, so that's what I'm gonna do. Drilled out the coupler so I didn't have the resistance on the inside, and decided that Allen wrench would probably be good. It's good hard steel that I could work with, and it will slide and it won't, less likely to bind up, I think. So, and then I drilled a nut that I'll weld onto the top side of that. I can slide that and it has a definite stop to it. So, and then from there we'll trim and round the bottom, get that mounted on, and I'll have the stop part of it figured out. I just won't have the release part yet. We'll figure it out together. Be right back. See if it'll work. Okay, I think I got a good start on there. Don't know what my next step is yet. It's just one step at a time, trying to figure out process by process. Now I know this is a lot longer than what I need right now. So I can cut it back. Still not figured out the lifting mechanism yet. Let's see a little closer here what I got going on now. Pull that out, drop it in there, hold it in place. It's in there, kind of. Get all those holes probably wore in a little bit better. Probably wouldn't hurt to have a little cutting oil lube up in there. Okay, back, and I'm going to go ahead and mark where that sticks out the bottom so I know how much to cut off of it. No, maybe I'll round that off a little bit more and call that good. We'll see. Okay, pretty happy with how that's working as far as holding it in place. I know I'll have to get all the slop out of the rest of the linkage in order to keep it consistent, or I'm gonna, 1,000 miles down the road, it's gonna suddenly not want to shift because something's wore out. So definitely gonna have to look at getting a little bit tighter tolerances on the rest of it. But for now, found this spring. I'm not sure what it's off of. It's out of my drawers, and I'm thinking weight wise be a good firm one for that. Okay, well, I've got the spring on there. It seems like tension's good on it. Next step will be to try to figure out the lever action to lift up on it like this wrench is doing here, where I can lift like that and lift enough and then go into the next spot, be able to lock into place. Like the rest of it, now I'm going to sit here and try to figure out how I'm going to do that, and then I'll do it. So I'll keep you posted. Okay, so of course the problem I had to solve next was how was I going to lift up on this in an efficient manner, and I come up with this, kind of loosely based off of a rocker arm on the car, or a clutch arm. Lock on there. I'm thinking I'll probably need to come possibly up from this bolt. Just leave it smooth. Come up with the bolt from the bottom, enough where I can put a nut to hold this on, and then smooth the rest of the way up to guide this. And then I got this cable. I'm thinking if I can get the angle right, that might be an issue. Through here somehow into to the next problem. Let's see. I'll be mad when I can't see any of this. So this is my thought process now. We got cable. I don't know if this is going to be heavy enough to work it yet or not. This is just a shifter cable off a bicycle, which is the weakest of cables. I didn't have a good brake cable to use yet. But mount it down here in a way, make a lever I can pull on, run the cable around in some way, shape, or form, through the bottom, through this one, and pull on the handle, lift the lever, lift the pin, bada boom, bada bang. So now all I gotta do is make that work. Of course, I don't need this as that long, so I'll cut this down. I'll probably go ahead and I'm going to try slotting it like I did kind of on this side, but mark my hole. there. Something like that. Alright, I'll just try right at the hole first. It doesn't have to be real big for it to allow travel. And I'm thinking this nut here, about shaving off the corners of it so it's more of a point from the side. Might help it pivot too. I'll try that too. And I can always rotate it so that the fulcrum's in the right spot. Do that, I'll be right back. Alright, you can kind of, I don't know if it'll come out on camera, but you can see the angle I got on that. Make that action a little bit better. I'll cut that off and drill that hole. I got here, how great it is, but it seems like a fairly hard bolt. Not sure. Through there. That's not really threaded, it just goes through better with turning it. The bottom part is threaded. There. Oh, okay. I may have an issue. I don't know if I can get that all together. I got it bolted in. Nope. Well, what I'll end up doing is cutting the top off of this one anyway. I knew that was going to happen. So I'm going to have to get this tightened down. Side to jam it with. That getting that perfectly lined. Oh, I got to make my notch a little bit deeper. My pivot hole needs a little attention now. Looking there, getting a step closer. And I can see now, I can go ahead and, once I see what my full travel on all my parts are, I can go ahead and take that loose or notch that down. And I was debating on whether or not to put a longer bolt in here to the top of it, but I'll have the cable on this side holding it. And I think it'll go ahead and stay together. I think I am going to go ahead and put in the vise and put just a slight bend up on these end pieces just to get a little more travel out of it, just in case. Okay, next step is to figure out how I'm going to pull the cable. I'm thinking I'm Here goes flow. We do what I'm getting out anyway. But I'm thinking, drill through the shifter and make a little two sides on it like that. With but what I was looking for was what I've done on Sketchy. I got an old punching bag, speed bag, old leather, looks really good. Cut the bottom out, and then all I gotta do is lace it up around the neck on it, and it looks good. I mean, somebody look at it, it just looks like a really classy looking shifter boot. I highly recommend doing that. You don't even have to give me credit for it. But I had another one that I was going to put on here, but I'm not sure until it's in the truck. I won't know where everything's positioned yet, so I'll leave that for now. But I did find these old pliers. That's why I usually don't leave the camera running for times like this, because I do a lot of sitting here thinking about stuff. And while I'm thinking, I'll let that stew in my head for a minute. I'm going to go ahead and drill the holes that the cable's going to go through. Oh look, what I'd like to be able to do is have the cable adjusted. But I'll have to look on the bike to see if there's any adjustable cable ends left. Alright, so what I just got done doing now, I went ahead and drilled my holes out that my cable's going to go through on this end of it. And on this one I got the adjuster off the bike itself. Something else I've used these for in the past while on Rat Duallie for the throttle pedal, I used a bigger one. I used the actual one for the brake cable. But I was able to feed it through the firewall and then tighten the adjuster nut that comes with them on the back side of it, and then that way when the cable butts up against it, it has a nice clean hole to go through, and less there's a chance of fraying that throttle cable. So this is a little bit lighter weight than what that one was, and the big issue I find with using these in this case, because it didn't have a nut that came with it, it just screwed in the derailleur, is that's a metric thread on there. So I don't have any metric taps, which is odd because they're all made in China and Japan, but fortunately it's soft enough metal, so pretty forgiving. I'll go ahead and thread that in there. Just all the way down. Now as I use it and figure it out, I'll be able to, if I need to, I can adjust that out, put some tension on it. Okay. Now I'll probably go ahead and get handbrake cable for this. This is about half the thickness of what your handbrake cables are, these derailleur cables. I mean, look, I did find some brake cable. This one still has a good factory end on this end. I'm thinking something like that. If I can drill through this, that's a concern of mine, is being able to drill through this shifter material. That's pretty hard steel, I believe. I'm going to leave this a little long for now. Housing is the same size. Okay, now I'm looking at going down through here into there, and I'll have a cable stop on that end. I won't be fill up that way too long. Like to cable up. I don't need no more resistance throwing me the one I got. Now I was thinking about just having a regular full brake cable or brake handle. I don't have one. The bike that I got that off of has plastic ones on it. And I got another bike that has metal ones on it, but I really don't want to rob parts off of it. These cable stops here. I'm actually going to have to drill those out a little bit bigger. They're too small for this to fit into. I mean, it'll work good once I get it drilled out. I don't remember. It was maybe in a set of a choke, manual choke set or something. Use that. Set that right there. Drill that out. I'll be right back. Okay, I got digging through my motorcycle parts and I didn't find exactly what I was looking for, but I may have found something just as good. It'll take some trimming. I think I gotta trim this bottom ear off of here. It's roughly the same width as this. So what I could do, weld a couple tabs on like that, and come up like that with it down here. And then drill my hole through this way, come around this with the cable, drill a hole in the back side so that when you pull on it, it's pulling that cable around the whole thing. Has a cool look to it. I don't know, we'll see. I'll probably change my mind. I don't know if I'll leave the footage in there if I do, but we'll see. Alright, hopefully everybody stayed along for this much of the video. Okay. Alright, thought the batteries was going to try to screw me over, but I have one more battery charged up in the house, so that's what we're running on now. Last battery, it's time to wrap this up. So, you can see I got this welded on. I'll probably put a stop back here to keep it from going up too far. Feed the cable in. Had it in there a second ago, but I didn't like the just poking out too far. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough travel. I might need a lot more lever action, maybe stick out a little bit further. Let's find out. Yeah, we're getting not nearly enough travel, I'm afraid. Well, maybe close. I guess I'll find out. In previous videos I had mentioned looking forward to making this shifter because I consider it fun, and I do. I mean, this and the whole thing may not even work when I'm done with it. It may not fit the truck. It may be the pain in the ass, not wanting to stay in gear or go in gear or something. I mean, it may not work the way I intend at all. But I've had fun trying to make it. I've had fun, you know, figuring out different aspects of it, and for me that's the main thing, is the fun of the chase, I guess, the problem solving aspects of it. So we will see together that all the way forward and all the way out. So in all reality, if this don't work at all, it's still a win. I mean, I still had fun. I learned stuff. You know, when I first started this video tonight, I had no idea where it was going, what it was going to take. I had some ideas in my head of things I was going to try, but you know, nothing really of this this magnitude. I'm sure there's guys out there saying, well, why don't you just buy a damn shifter? Well, you know, that's not me. I'm cheap. Why? You know, I know they're not expensive. I could get a shifter for this for probably $100, you know, $200 for a really nice one. but what fun would that be? It's GMP custom fabrication, not GMP buy new stuff and bolt it together. So I do what I do because that's what I enjoy, and I like trying to figure things out. Too tight. Okay. What can I say? Okay. I'm calling it done for now. There's still probably a little bit tweaking to be done on it. The holes probably could use a little more chamfering to smooth that a little bit. It works as intended. I'm not real happy with the travel. I might need to build up the back side of this handle so I get more travel here with it. There's still some things I need to tweak on it. I think I'm onto something. I think I can work the last of the bugs out once it's in the truck. I still need a little bit. I need more travel here, so maybe I'll get a different handle, maybe shape it differently. Somehow I need to get more travel out of it. Might just be a matter of notching out the back up here so I can get more pull on it. If you watch, I can pull on it and it's locked. It's not going anywhere. Yeah, that's second there I'm having trouble with it, not wanting to go into it. And of course first, low, I don't need anything to hold on it because it'll be going from low to second. Drive, reverse, or drive neutral, reverse, and then park. I probably need to find some way to box it in. I trim off some edges, round things off, paint it, make it look a whole lot better. But I believe, for the most part, I can call that a win. I'm pretty happy with it. Even if it ends up being a pain in the ass and doesn't work worth the crap when it's all said and done. This was fun. I knew building the shifter would be fun. It's a lot of moving parts, a lot of stuff to figure out. And to be honest, when I sat down here when I first started this video tonight, I didn't know. I didn't know how I was gonna. I knew I needed mechanism to lock in at certain positions, and it'd have to be movable. And I knew I wanted some kind of pull handle, but I wasn't sure how. Still not sure that this is what I want to stay with. I can make something totally different. Maybe make some rebar that matches the hair on my skull guy a little better. But yeah, I have to say I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. When it comes to putting it in the truck, that may be a totally different animal there, because I know I'll have to probably take this whole bracket, everything off the top of here in order to get it underneath the truck, and then be able to bolt it back in from the top side. I'll slide it in from the top, bolt it from the bottom, put these in. But I'll probably end up cut that whole center console out and have a removable panel to make all that a little bit easier. I'm not sure how much I'll have sticking out of the console. Still not sure about this. I don't like this sticking up like this. So that will probably, when I come up with a way to get more leverage, then I'll run a longer cable. I'd rather have it run closer to it, you know, and be able to wrap in around here in some way. And it doesn't, you know, it doesn't work exactly like I was wanting it to yet. But I think all that's going to have to do with me massaging these holes out a little bit bigger and getting a little bit of a groove in between them. But right there, it's not trying to go into second at all as far as pin when you drop into it. But I can feel secure in the fact that if I stop somewhere and put it in park, then nobody's going to accidentally hit the shifter on it and knock it into reverse or drive or anything like that. I'm pretty confident on the locking ability. And yeah, if I could come up with some kind of indicator to show what position I'm in, that would be awesome, but it's not critical. Yeah, that one there bored out a little bigger. That one goes in good. 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 So, I'm going to call it for the night. This is Glen for GMP Custom Fabrications. Living the dream till the freaking phone rings. Thanks for watching.